We can get stuck in our anxiety if we have the wrong perspective. Do you ever feel like anxiety is the enemy and something you should rid from your life? Hello, friend. If you're new here, my name's Zach, and I'm an anxiety management coach. See, anxiety can consume us. It can consume our lives. It can make us lose sleep. It can make us hurt those that we love the most. It can make me stress eat. It can even succumb to addiction because of anxiety. Even with all that being said, anxiety is not the enemy. And I hope by the end of this video, I can convince you of that. Number one, there's two types of anxiety. It's important for you to know that there is chronic anxiety and acute anxiety. Here's the difference. Acute anxiety is when there is an actual danger. Our brain's going off, we get anxious, and there's a danger going on. In fact, I'm here in Oregon, and it's the winter, and we just had an ice storm up north. Anxiety would be, acute anxiety is you're driving down the road, you slip on the ice, and you might get in a wreck. Your body's going to get really anxious. You're probably going to grip that steering wheel really tight. You're going to focus really hard. And that's when anxiety can be good. Anxiety causes extreme focus on fixing the problem. Chronic anxiety is a little different from acute. And it's that same reaction, that extreme focus, but it's more like a drip going on in the background. And here's the thing about chronic anxiety. You aren't in danger. Like, there's actually nothing going on. So it's important to know the difference between the two things. Might be a fear, might be reality of there is something to fear. Number two, anxiety always points to a problem. See, our brains are brilliant at finding problems, brilliant at trying to stay alive, not too brilliant on being happy. I'll give you an example from my life. Last night I was in bed and I'm like, did I remember to lock the doors? That was the thought. All of a sudden, I started to get more and more anxious. Like, what if someone comes in because I don't have the door locked? Start going down this whole line. That's anxiety. And what I did in that moment is I got my butt out of bed and went and checked my doors. Sure enough, one was unlocked. See, anxiety helped me to protect my home, to protect those I love. It wasn't the enemy. It was a helpful thing in that moment. See, because that's anxiety pointing to a problem, it leads us to point number three. Some things may need to change. If you're anxious about finances in this moment, maybe something needs to change. Maybe you need more income coming in. Maybe you need a budget so you can see what's happening in your life. See, money is an anxious thing for most people. In fact, I think the studies show it was somewhere around 80% of Americans have anxiety over finances. Also, we live in a country that is drowning in debt. I believe the last figures I saw, the average American household had $110,000 in consumer debt. So that's outside of a mortgage. We should be anxious. That should be something we try to problem solve. It's pointing to a problem. And if we just want to manage the anxiety and keep moving forward, like, oh, I'm just not going to get anxious about that, but I'm not going to do anything, it doesn't lead to a good place. So is anxiety pointing to a problem in your life is a great question to ask. Number four, some things need to be named and just surrendered. Anxiety points to a problem, but sometimes the only thing we need to do about it is to rid ourselves of anxiety in that moment. See, for me, I have this anxious trigger that goes off if I think about, do you like this video? Because in my mind, I think I need people to like me. See, chronic anxiety will say you need something that you don't really need. See, and it's in those moments where I get spun up and anxious, worried about other people's needs, that I need to notice that that's going off in me to name what it is I'm anxious about. I want people to like me. And then diffusing it. See, because even though I hope you do enjoy this video, that's a good hope. Now, I'm not in danger if you don't. I'm a little bit in danger, though, if I let that anxiety well up and I start reacting out of that anxiousness. See, that's actually what we sometimes get in danger of, is hurting people in our lives, hurting ourselves because we're anxious. So notice, and then name, because it's something that you need to surrender. Number 5, we need an appropriate goal. See, oftentimes when we discover anxiety management, our goal becomes to remove ourselves of all anxiety. And then we will be at peace. Kumbaya. That is not reality. And it's not possible. Physiologically, not possible to remove anxiety from our life. And just like we talked about in this video, I don't know that you would want to. Because anxiety can be a great signal for you of a problem underneath. See, I believe that the goal should be to just be 10% better. That 10% of our life to be controlled less by anxiety. That maybe we can notice and name and surrender or change habits a little quicker to where we're not anxious, to where we're not losing sleep, which would be negative. That's the goal. 10% improvement, not perfection. Because after all, to be anxious is to be human. See, chronic anxiety, how we can get 10% better is by learning to manage anxiety. And it's a simple process. And if you want to know what that process is, watch this video right here. I know it'll really help you get that 10% I know you want.